Marty McFly here, back from 1985. Today I'm doing my list of the top 12, well, not top 12 because there's only 12, but this is the ranking of the Friday the 13th series. Obviously you can see I'm a pretty big fan. I hand painted that, by the way, Crystal Lake sign. So this is just like a ranking video showing from worst to best. So I'm not going to really get into too much details about them. It's just more of just a ranking. So, starting off with number 12, which is the worst movie in this franchise. This is a dumpster fire. Jason Goes to Hell. Wow.
Nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage.
So, Jason is not even in this movie. Well, technically he's in this movie because apparently now he's a demon slug worm thing that jumps from body to body and can take over people's bodies and control them. And he has like a stepsister that we never heard of, and then this fucking Creighton Duke guy, vigilante dude, comes up.
Who the fuck are you, shitwad?
Comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey Jason, remember me? He's like holding a gun at him or I forget what he's doing. He's like, remember me? Remember you from what? No, I don't remember you. Who came up with that fucking idea? This is Friday the 13th, people. This is a slasher movie. That's not the type of movie we're making here. It is so bad. The people that made this movie couldn't even spell Voorhees correctly on the mailbox. You know, they left out one of the O's. There's two O's in Voorhees. There's really nothing good to say. I mean, if I were to say one good thing about it, this is the Crystal Lake Memories book, by the way. If you don't have this book, this is the Bible for Friday the 13th fans. This is a great book. It tells you everything from part 1 to Freddy vs. Jason. It doesn't include the remake because it came out before the remake was around. So, but if I were to give one positive note to Jason Goes to Hell, I would say that the way Jason looks is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. He looks okay. He looks cool. Like his mask is like embedded into his head. I don't know why he's wearing a Michael Myers jumpsuit, but Jason Goes to Hell is so batshit crazy. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. But the character of Creighton Duke, I mean, there's a scene where he's sitting down with like a news reporter guy, interviewer or whatever. He's interviewing him, and he just talks about how Jason wears other people's skin, jumps from body to body, and then he asks him like, "What do you think about Jason Voorhees?" Like, just the dialogue in this movie pisses me off. Like, for example,
I'm going to say 2 words to you, Mr. Duke, and I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Shoot.
Jason Voorhees.
Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut.
so my reaction was the exact same reaction as that news reporter when he's looking at him like, really? And then the bullshit about Jason, just watch.
What you think of as Jason is not Jason. That body he's wearing, that's just me. That boy knows how to dress. He wears other people's bodies like folks wear a suit. Or he may get blown up, but that's just a little minor inconvenience for him. He'll just get himself another body. Jason Voorhees, the true Jason Voorhees, is something you and I have never seen before, Mr. Kim. There's only one way to put an end to him for all time. And I'm the only one that knows the way.
So Jason apparently can body hop now. Oh. And one more scene that just makes no sense in this movie is that he's taking possession of people, and then he finds like this sheriff or whatever. He's taking possession of, he's controlling a doctor, the doctor guy or whatever, but he has the sheriff on a table. He's like shaving him. He's got the doctor's naked, strapped to a table, and he's like shaving him, and then just watch.
fuck are you doing? You fuck!
Seriously? Anyway, that's number 12 on the list. So that's the worst of the worst. And next up is the second worst, which is still pretty bad. Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah, Jason. They should have called it Jason Takes a Cruise. This movie spends 5 minutes, I think, maybe 5 or 10 minutes in New York. The whole entire movie's on a boat. It should have just been called Jason Goes on a Cruise. Seriously. Kane Hodder. This is his second portrayal of Jason. Everybody loves Kane Hodder. That's great. I don't know why. I think he's overrated. Personally, I think everybody loves him because he's been in the movie. He's played Jason more than once, so everybody just like jumps on that like bandwagon. Anyway, so that's number 11. Number 10 is Jason X. All I have to say, Jason in Outer Space. Yeah, Jason in Outer Space. That's where they went with this one. Which, although it does have one good kill in it though, the frozen face smash. But other than that, that movie sucks donkey dick. Alright, number 9 is part 5, A New Beginning. Don't like this movie. I felt ripped off as a fan. As a fan of Friday the 13th, I felt ripped off. They're leading us to believe that Jason is the killer of the whole movie, and then it ends up being the freaking ambulance driver guy. Really? And then, you know, whatever. Terrible. So, that's that one. That came in at number 9. Number 8 spot is number 7, part 7, A New Blood. This is Kane Hodder's big first appearance. This is Kane Hodder's only Jason movie that's watchable. It's pretty much Jason versus Carrie. There's a girl that has powers. Yep. It's pretty much Carrie versus Jason. Not the best of the best. But we're getting out of the shit stuff now. We're getting into the good stuff. So coming in at number 7 on the list is part 3 in 3D. Now, when you buy this, you can buy this now in 3D. It comes with like the red and blue glasses and stuff. I don't have my DVDs with me, but they're downstairs. You can buy the DVD with the blue and green 3D thing. So, I mean, it does not look good though. So if you watch the movie, just watch the 2D version. Don't watch the red and blue thing because it looks stupid and it gives you a headache after a little while. Good movie. First movie where Jason wears the mask. Richard Brooker. He's dead now, but rest in peace. He was the first Jason to don the mask. And then number 6 on the list is the original Friday the 13th, part 1, starring Betsy Palmer. Now, when this came out, everybody hated it. Like, all the critics hated it, all the, like, the parents, everybody, like, just because of its shock value. It was, like, gruesome and bloody and gory and, you know, explicit and all that stuff. It was good. I mean, the first time you see it, it's one of those whodunit movies because you really don't know who the killer is. It doesn't show who the killer is until the end. I think it's very clever, and it's a great. In Scream, they did a great homage to that in Scream when Ghostface calls Drew Barrymore, what's the name of that movie, Casey Becker, on the phone, and he asked her a trivia question. He asked her who the killer is in Friday the 13th, and she said Jason. I've seen the movie a million times. He says, well, I'm sorry, that's the wrong answer. She says, no, I've seen that movie a million times. It's Jason. He goes, you should have seen the original then. You should know that Mrs. Voorhees was the original killer. Jason didn't show up to the sequel. So, thought that was a pretty cool little thing in Scream. I love Scream. Scream is actually kind of one of the movies that got me into horror movies. But anyway. So that's part 1 on the list. Now, coming in at number 5 is Freddy vs. Jason. I like this movie. I saw this twice in theaters. I mean, the look personally, I think it's one of the best looking Jasons. Look at him. I think he looks awesome. Oh, also, I got this autograph by Amy Steele and Derek Mears. Anyway, Freddy vs. Jason. Saw this twice in theaters. This was good. I mean, I don't get why people shit on it. Like, what did you expect? It's not Citizen Kane. What did you expect from a movie called Freddy vs. Jason? You have Freddy, you have Jason. They fought. What else did you want? Did you want fireworks displays going off? Did you want cheerleaders in the background? Well, the cheerleader thing wouldn't be a bad idea. Anyway, next up on the list, number 4, Jason Lives. This is the first movie I can ever remember seeing as a kid. I think I was probably like 13, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old, at the video store, back when they had video stores, Blockbuster, for those old people, new people, no idea what we're talking about, new generation. So we were browsing through the video store, me and my dad, and I think I grabbed I looked at the case. I had the hockey mask, Jason Lives hockey mask, and I rented it, and I think that's the first time I ever saw a Jason movie in my life. And then ever since then I was hooked. And then I went back and I started watching all of them in chronological order. You know, parts 1, you know, in order. So Jason Lives is basically where I got my love for Jason from, because it's the first Jason movie I ever saw. So props to that movie. Great movie. Tom Matthews is in it. Plays a grown-up version of Tommy Jarvis from the final chapter, part 4. If you've never seen the fan film Never Hike Alone, he makes a great cameo in that. You should check it out. He has a cameo in that. It's a fan film, but it looks professionally made. He's in it. He has a cameo. It's really cool. Check that out. It's called Never Hike Alone. Alright, now we're in the top 3. The remake. A lot of people don't like this movie just solely because it's a remake. I mean, I don't consider it a remake, because if it was a remake, Jason wouldn't be in it. Because if you remade Friday the 13th, Jason's not in Friday the 13th. It's his mother. So to me, this is more of a reimagining or a reboot, because it takes all the elements of parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 and combines them into one, and does a great job. Derek Mears is probably my favorite Jason of all time. Like, he's just amazing as Jason. Ruthless, brutal, huge. First 20 minutes of this movie are just perfect. Like, very suspenseful. Saw it in theaters twice, the same day. Loved it. Don't understand the hate for it. That's number 3. So the last 2, these are a toss-up for me, because growing up watching them, after I got into the franchise, when I started watching them, these are my 2 favorites. So number 2 on the list is Friday the 13th Part 2. Sackhead Jason. He does not have the hockey mask in this one. This is the one where they didn't plan on making a sequel to Friday the 13th when it came out, but it was so successful that they found a way to bring back Jason. They said he didn't drown or whatever, blah blah blah, and then he ends up killing Alice, who killed his mother in the first movie. He goes to her house, stabs her with a screwdriver through her head. Yeah, she was played by Adrienne King, who I heard is a very sweet lady. I just never got a chance to meet her. Got one of the greatest deaths. Look at that. That's from Part 2. That death did not make my top 10 list, unfortunately, but it is still good. It's worth mentioning. Yeah, Part 2, number 2. Now, the number 1 pick is my all-time favorite, is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And I know they should not call it the final chapter, because obviously it was not the final chapter. Just like they call Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. We all know it's not the final Friday. But Part 4, the final chapter, is my number 1 pick for best Friday the 13th movies. So much good things about it. You got, you know, Corey Feldman's in it, Crispin Glover, you know, George McFly.
Hello? Hello?
anybody home?
Tom Savini comes back to do makeup and kills off, well, back then, killed off Jason, the character that he created in the first one when he created the boy, when it shows the flashbacks of Jason drowning. You know, he did all that makeup effects, so he came back for the fourth one to do, to kill Jason when he gets, you know, gets the machete in his head and slides down and all that stuff. So that is my ranking video. Again, check this book out if you haven't. There's also a DVD version of it, which comes with a Blu-ray as well. It's which includes the remake, since it came out, since the DVD came out after the remake came out, but this came out before the remake came out. So this does not include the remake, unfortunately, but it's still a good read. Like I said, yeah, it's also on DVD, Blu-ray. You can order it. It's called Crystal Lake Memories. That's about it. Alright.